Kalavryta is a small town in the mountains of the northern Peloponnese. It's often called the town of widows because on this hill nearby, nearly all of the men and boys aged 13 and older were murdered by Nazi soldiers in December 1943. Spiros Thimopoulos was 8 then. He heard the shooting, ran to the hill and found his father's body.
I went alone, without my mother. I saw everything, all the corpses, 600 or 700. Women came with bedspreads and laid the bodies of their husbands on them, and then dragged them down the hill to the cemetery.
Spiros Thimopoulos remembers the shallow grave dug for his father. The trauma remains with him to this day. In the 1950s, he and about 30 other youngsters from Kalavryta were invited to West Germany for job training, a gesture of reconciliation by the country that perpetrated numerous massacres in Greece. But for Thimopoulos, that didn't go far enough. He wants Germany to pay compensation.
The fear I felt, the fear I endured, who will compensate me for that? I can't sleep at night. It's been going on for years and years. I've lost 10 years of sleep. Who's to blame? Who could it be? The Germans? It's quite possible.
Almost everyone in Kalavryta is on the search for their past. On that December day 73 years ago, Alexandra Restemi's brother and father were killed. She was 18 and the oldest of 4 children.
My father came to Kalavryta to fetch his son, but the Germans seized him, and then they killed both of them.
Alexandra Restemi is 91. She's never gotten over what happened. Kalavryta's municipal museum tells the story of the area under Italian and then German occupation. In an act of revenge for the killing of about 80 German soldiers by local partisans, Nazi troops killed Greek civilians, nearly all the men and boys of Kalavryta. For Alexandra Restemi, the military background is irrelevant. It's the horrible memories that haunt her. She can hardly bear to look at the photograph of her father. According to her niece, decades passed before she spoke about the massacre.
After some years, when we asked her about what happened then, she started saying the story, and then really slowly she started saying things about what happened back then.
Alexandra Restemi, her mother and sister stayed in Kalavryta, as did most of the bereaved women, but she does not express bitterness.
We shouldn't feel hate. What happened happened. Of course, they should never have been allowed to kill so many people.
This is the memorial to the victims of the massacre. Here, only a few are willing to forgive and forget. Most want Germany to do more to compensate the victims' families.